Shalom. Before I begin this video, first and foremost, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Rahawa Kakwadash, and also double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that continually rule very well to this very day. That is continually feeding the flock through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And Shalom to the Hofi elect that's continually plowing in his work, giving diligence to make your calling and election sure in faith, truth, and sincerity, and in all charity. Now, topic of this video is going to be entitled Life or Death, in which if the Spirit allows, if the Spirit has it to where I change the title, I'll change it, however the Spirit allows. We always do things through the Spirit, but the main focus of the video is that the Lord has set in front of us a choice or a decision in which really, if you want to go deeper into it, the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai has it to where even though you have life and death set before us, still the Lord controls who's the one for life and who's the one for death, because the scriptures speak about the book of life, all right, and those names that are written within it, all right, in which Apostle Elder Gabar did a beautiful video concerning the importance of the book of life, because that having your name written in the book of life means that you are slated for eternal life, immortality, where you will never die ever again. But the people that are here, they rather choose death just to satisfy themselves for a moment. And like I mentioned before, the Lord has complete control over that, because the people don't understand that the Lord has a certain number set aside for to be delivered, that he wants for himself, near and dear for himself, and to be made the governing body of the next coming rulership. And then he has ones that just going to be bystanders. All right? Because once again, the Lord controls everything. He has a certain order that he's going to set on the planet Earth when the kingdom is established. All right? So, of course, you got life and death set before us, but the Spirit dwells in certain individuals of the nation of Israel to find life that leads unto everlasting life. And you have certain spirits that jump on other people to keep them away from life, to keep them away from receiving eternal life. And that's how the Lord is. People think that the Lord is all about, bringing everybody into the kingdom to experience the benefits of the kingdom, which that's not so. All right? Because if everybody on the planet Earth was in the seat of rulership, right? Everybody had their place in kingship, then who would be the subjects? Who would be the ones to govern if everybody was to sit on the seat of royalty? Because if that was the case, then they themselves would be the governing body. They themselves would govern themselves if everybody was in the seat of rulership. But guess what? It's not going to work that way in the kingdom. You're going to have a governing body, right? And you're going to have subjects under that governing body. All right. So once again, pertaining to the lesson, life and death, in which the people think that it's easy to choose life and death just like that. You know, it's easy for a person to say, oh, well, I made a change in my life. You know, I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to stop doing that. And then guess what happens? That person goes right back to what they were doing, right back into the mire that they're left out of. All right. But concerning the sons of Israel, you know, Jacob's good at doing that. You know, they're good at saying, well, I'm going to stop doing this and that, knowing full well they have no control over what they do. The Lord is the one to have mercy, because really it boils down to mercy. If the Lord has mercy on you, then guess what? He's going to allow you to escape whatever you're bound by, you know, concerning the flesh. All right. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into the scriptures. This is, let me go back to it. It's like it. It's the book of Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter, in the 19th verse. It says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you. This is talking about Israel. All right. Which this is the book of Deuteronomy, in which this the book of Deuteronomy, that word Deuteronomy means the second book of the law, in which the law was only given to the Israelites. Okay, which today consists of the so-called, or primarily consists of the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Okay. Now it says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death. See? So the Lord has set before us life and death, and it's still prevalent to this very day. Why? Because this book is known as the book of the commandments that leads unto life. All right? So with that being said, wow, that's a spirit. So that being said, you know, you got Israelites that rather choose death, which consists of what? Leaving off the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, to leave off the words of this book, and to go about and to seek their own righteousness in their own way, on their own way of doing things, what they think is right in their own eyes, which ultimately leads to death. All right. Why? Because at the end of what their establishment is, or what they're trying to do, at the end of it is going to be all for naught. Why? Because it's certain tasks that the Lord has set before us to do and to commit to, in order to be delivered and to be to take on the immortal and put off the corruptible, the mortal flesh. All right. But the people don't understand, or our people don't understand, what the Lord wants. You know, like I mentioned before, it's easy to say that you love the Lord, but do you really know what He wants? All right, because if you really love the Lord, then you will understand what exactly He wants out of us. All right, that's to love somebody. You got to get to know Him. All right, if you don't know Him, then what's the point of saying that when you don't know what He wants, or what he likes, or his dislikes? You know, what's his favorite? What's his favorite and least favorites? You know, what's his delight in? What does he hate? Things like that, man. But people don't know that. So what they think is right and wrong, and according to the Lord, or what they believe was right and wrong, when it really, you know, is vain. All right. Slakia. So reading on, it says, blessing and cursing, therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. See? That's why the Lord has certain individuals to choose life, so that our seed can live. All right? So there'll be the coming generation after the elect. All right. Now, going going from there. It's the book of John, the 3rd chapter, in the 19th verse. It says, "And this is the condemnation," which condemnation, in large word or in large version of condemn. When you condemn somebody, really, actually, let me get that word condemnation just for edification's sake, because I'm not doing it enough justice if I just call it out. Okay, the condemnation is krisis, right? Which means a separation. See? A separation. Sundering. Separation, a trial, a contest, selection, judgment. All right? Slacky. Right, so judgment, right? So the Lord has judged the people, right? Which is akin to the word condemnation, which means krisis in the Greek. So it means judgment, opinion, or decision given concerning anything, especially concerning justice and injustice, right or wrong. All right. Sentence of condemnation, damnatory judgment. All right, which condemnation and punishment. It says the College of Judges. Let's see. It says right justice. So basically, it means judgment. All right, a sentence. Okay, condemnation and punishment. Right. So let me go back. It's saying this is the condemnation, right? The judgment, that light is come into the world, and men love the darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. See? So the Lord has judged and sentenced that light has come into the world, and that the men of this world that's tied to this world would do what? Love darkness rather than light. So that backs up what I was speaking about earlier, that the Lord allows certain individuals of Israel to come to the light, come to life, and he has deemed certain Israelites to be aligned with death. All right. So once again, read it again, right? It says, and this is the condemnation, that light is coming to the world, right? And the light has come into the world, which is in the form of what? The men of the Lord that you see out in the highways and byways doing the work. It's putting up videos, putting up shows, okay, and doing lessons. That's the light of the world, which is through the spirit of Yahweh Shai, which he was the light that came into the world during the time of the ancient world, during the Roman Empire. All right. And now we're carrying that same light. So once again, it says that light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. See? And the reason why, because of that, is because the men of this world, that's what you do. When you're in the dark, you're basically hiding your wickedness. All right. When you're committing an evil deed, you don't do it out in the light and not in a wide open spot where everybody can see. You do it in the darkness where nobody can see what you're doing. But the thing is that they don't understand that the Lord's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of man. Okay. Verse 20 says, "For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved." See? And that's why you see Israel, when they pass by and they hear the word, they don't want to stop by and listen, because their deeds are evil. They don't want to come to the light and for their deeds to be reproved. So of course they're going to stay in the darkness. All right. Verse 21 says, "But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in the Most High, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai." Now I got another precept, and I'm gonna close it on now. Didn't want to make this video too long. This is the book of Baruch, the 4th chapter, in the first verse. It says, "This is the book of the commandments of the Most High." See, and this book is the book of commandments. See, it's the book of the law. You can go find that also in the book of Joshua. I believe it's Joshua, the 1st chapter, in the 8th verse, if I'm not mistaken. It speaks about this book being the book of the law, right? So it said, this is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and a law that endureth forever. See, the law is still in effect. All right. But of course, we're in this flesh, and also we're in this captivity, so we can't keep all of them. All right. We can only keep the ones that we're able to keep, and that's easy to keep. All right. Ones that's not so difficult to keep, for the sake of reverencing Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right. Now it says, and all they that keep it, right, keep the words that are written in this book, shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. So there you go. So all that leave the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, they're going to die. All right, point blank, period. You know, there's no sugarcoating it. It's either life or death. It's either you follow the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and live, or leave his words and die. It's either you follow him and live, or either you leave him and die. Is either you keep the words of which he said in this book to the best of our ability, all right, and to the degree to where we endure to the very end and live, or disregard it and just give up and go back and indulge yourself in the world, and then at the end of it die. All right, it's either or. There's no between with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Is whether you're hot or cold. The Lord spoke about that in the book of Revelations. He says he would rather have somebody that's hot or cold, right? Is either in the truth or not in the truth. And if somebody is lukewarm, right, in between, you know, in that gray area, guess what? He's gonna do away with that person. He's gonna cast him in the outer darkness. Either way, all right. Can't be in between with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right. Oh, also too. That also goes into the Hebrew. All right. If you do a observation in the Hebrew language, it's either yay or nay. There's no such thing as maybe in the Hebrew language. There's no word that says maybe or perhaps in the Hebrew language. It's always a yes and a no answer. All right. You know, just a little golden nugget to throw out. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this video on this lesson. And our Lord's will, you members of the Hopeful Elect, were edified by this video. And hey, choose life. Choose life and live, man. Choose Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and live. And this goes out to the members of the Hopeful Elect. All right. For the ones that's not that this word is not meant for, you know, hey, more power to you. But once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Rakakudash. And double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that continue to rule very well to this very day. Shalom, peace and safety, salutations to the Hopeful Elect that's continually plowing in its work and giving diligence to make your carnal relation sure in faith, true sincerity, and in all charity. And with that, I'll go say shalom.